So we are at Ludlum today. It is a small track, part of a bigger facility, and it is on the outskirts of Sydney, not far from Mount Druitt. I didn't know what to expect coming to this track, given that it's quite small. I have seen videos of this track before from Mighty Car Mods. It looks like a pretty cool track, nice facility. And then when I arrived, you don't realise how hilly it is. It's quite technical. It turned out to be quite challenging and quite brutal on the car. I ended up going through a set of pads that day. Mind you, they were already used from Phillip Island a couple of weeks back. Like they say in mountain biking, you've got flow and tech. I'd say this is definitely a tech track. Very tight. Not many. There's two straights, but they're very short. I think around 300 meters long for the main straight, and the back straight wouldn't really call it a straight. It's you come on a big right-hander, big swooping right-hander up the hill, and then you got a tiny little bit of full throttle just before the braking. You probably got about 50 meters. So it's not really a straight. It was a good place to overtake though. So I'll go through this track bit by bit. So you got the main straight going uphill slightly, doesn't really impact your speed. Coming into the first corner is a right-hander with a blind apex. You're better off using a marker of reference to spot your apex and then turn in towards that. I chose to brake just before the flag tower. I found that nice and consistent and I didn't carry too much speed. And straight after that, you got a tiny little straight for the first hairpin. First of many hairpins. I think there's 3 hairpins on this track. 4 maybe, 5, who knows. So I found it was best to turn in quite late and then open up the next little straight towards the third corner. I suppose it's one corner because it's a hairpin. This was sort of 2 corners in one. It had a slight kink left. I was experimenting with going wider with this corner, but I didn't gain any speed, so I found if you went wider, it would compromise the next corner, which is the fastest corner of the track. So we're coming onto the fastest corner of the straight. Also quite scary corner. So keeping it foot hard down as you come over the hill, and then just as the track appears off to the right there, that's when you lift off slightly, just to wash off the speed. Then you continue to the left, and then up the straight I was talking about, which is not a straight. Uphill braking zone, hard on the brakes for this one, use the hill to your advantage, be careful with the car bottoming out though on the hill, and then quite a late apex on this one I found was best, so you could brake straight for the second to last corner. Early apex again, and then keeping to the middle of the track to get a better exit onto the main straight, and then just ride out to the wall. In this lap I didn't go out to the wall as much, but that's a lap. My best lap was a 58.3, which is okay. I was expecting a bit faster. But as it turns out, my tyres were not good. They're at the end of their lifespan. This is actually my second last lap that I just showed you. And then the last lap, the red flag came out to end the session. No, there was no incident. And then as I was coming in, I could hear, it sounded like it was overheating. You'll see footage from the outside. My car's making this horrendous noise. Turns out to be brakes, down to the metal again. So that was the 4th or 5th set of brake pads that I had been through this year in just 4 months. Moral of the story, invest in your brakes if you're gonna drive your car hard. I highly recommend you get down there if you live in New South Wales. I don't. I drove up there for 2 track days. Anyway, I'm gonna call it there. I'll see you at Sydney Motorsport Park for the main event.